What's up, guys? So in this video, I want to do a quick update on some stuff that I've been doing over the past 2 weeks. So I took a break from YouTube for a couple of weeks to work on some personal projects, and I want to share some of these projects with you. Specifically, I did a live training course for O'Reilly, my first live training course for them, and it went amazing. The live training was about building text-based applications with the ChatGPT API and LangChain. And I mean, we had over 275 attendees live. And I mean, I got hundreds of questions, great feedback. So it was just an amazing experience. And we're going to do another one in October, on the 20th of October. And I'm going to leave a link in the description. If you want to join that, you can. And besides that, I've been getting into building LLM agents. I've been researching a lot about how to build LLM agents, but not only that, researching a lot about the frameworks, researching a lot about how to formalize building agents, and understanding what the problem is when we're kind of like attaching large language models to tools and asking the question of, okay, how can I make this thing do useful things reliably, right? This is a really tough thing to do. And recently, during my vacation, I read this 32 pages paper on a survey for autonomous AI agents. Again, I'll leave a link in the description. Essentially, this paper was really cool because it kind of gave me like a perfect overview of everything that's going on in research regarding building LLM-based agents. And I want to share a few of these insights with you guys, because essentially it's a survey that just covers a bunch of stuff from, how to think about these agents, what research is happening right now on all these types of problems, types of applications of agents, and stuff that people have been doing. For example, they give one example inside the paper of a chemistry researcher agent that essentially was able to synthesize a new molecule just using, LLMs plus chemistry-specific tools. And I thought that was one of the coolest papers. I think it's called ChemCrow. I'll put a link in the description for both the survey paper and this chemistry agent paper. I thought it was amazing, right? In this paper, they talk about how you can think about LLMs in terms of these 4 basic components, like a profile. So that's essentially how you kind of label what the agent is. It can be a researcher, like a content creator, whatever you want. And then they talk about, okay, so then you can manually describe what the agent is, give it a profile, like you're a researcher, you're a mathematician, etc. Or you can have an LLM define what the agent is, or you can do something called data set alignment. So the second component is memory. And, when you're interacting with LLM agents, you need it to have some sort of memory, some sort of ability to hold information from past experiences. And they talk about what are the challenges there. They talk about something like unified hybrid memory and the types of formats of memory and the types of operations that you have to do. And they go into detail about that. So that was cool. So then they go into planning. So these agents need to plan out their actions before, right? Remember that most of the really high-performing agents to date are essentially based off this paper called React, which is, I'm going to leave a link in the description for this paper as well. And essentially it's a paper about, how an LLM, how to get the best out of an LLM by just having it interpolate, just put planning and actions kind of one after each other so that it gets the best performance by just having it okay, so this is what I'm going to do. And then it does, and then it rethinks, and then it goes and does again. I mean, this is a really cool fundamental paper. So planning is a key component of these agents. And they talk a lot about strategies in planning and types of feedback that you can get during the planning phase. Like you can have just the model plan out its own tasks and then execute them, or without any feedback, or you can have feedback for the planning and the quality of the planning that the model defined for itself. And finally, you have the action space, which is actually, they go into really detailed, this hierarchical structure almost of a lot of stuff related to how agents take actions in the real world. And essentially, you can have actions based off the tools that the agents have, right? Like searching the internet, searching Google, running code, etc. But you can also have actions based off the self-knowledge of the agent. And they go into a bunch of details about like different things to think about. For example, the action influence, something they call action influence, which is like to analyze how an action of an agent has certain consequences, certain, from when I do this, what happens, what are the consequences for my action? For example, if it does something on the internet, what happens from there? Stuff in that sense. So that was kind of interesting. And I mean, this paper is full of cool stuff. Like, for example, having tables for the benchmarks for these agents, because essentially benchmarking LLM agents today is like a big problem because, in essence, you have, you don't have any kind of structure right now, any kind of framework or protocol for how to evaluate the quality of these agents. And it's also very hard because the tasks that these agents are supposed to do are very general. So it's very subjective in a specific sense. However, they do mention papers like Agent Bench, which is a paper that just try to define this protocol and framework for how to properly evaluate LLM agents. And it's kind of nice because they have a bunch of tasks, and then within those tasks, you can see, you have many different ways of evaluating complex things like reasoning and problem-solving capabilities. So this paper is quite interesting, and it got me thinking about doing a few projects with these agents. I already started some, and you guys are probably going to see that in the very near future. Essentially, I want to build my own researcher agents and, these different types of agents related to different things. And I think that would be a really cool project to have in the channel. And the last thing was I've been getting interested in Lamma 2, which is the recently released open source model by Meta, where essentially you have a model that, rivals ChatGPT in performance, but it's completely open source. And you can download it to your computer, and essentially you have a large language model that can do whatever. Set up a server in my new Workspace, which is actually a great segue to my next topic of discussion, which is I've been, over the last month and a half, designing my new Workspace. I'm going to show you guys a photo of what the space looks like right now, but essentially just I have a small office where I do the videos and where I work, and I want to change the space to make it like not only better for making YouTube videos, but better to work, better to build stuff. I've been getting into electronics and, doing some kind of maker type projects. So I want to have a little workshop inside my Workspace. And this project has been really interesting because it got me kind of sketching a lot. I've been trying to learn how to draw for a while now. And I've been drawing I drew out some designs for like the floor plan of the Workspace. And it was really cool because I've learned a lot about how people in architecture design their, do sketches for different architectural designs. And from that, I kind of evolved to more, slightly more formal floor plans. I mean, not really not really formal because they don't have specific measurements and stuff like that, but they're a little bit more structured. And from that, what I did was I used a tool called Run Diffusion, which I'll leave a link in the description. They're not sponsoring this video, by the way. And I really like the video. I really like the tool because essentially it allowed me to render my sketches. So I had these floor plans and I rendered them with AI using, they use ControlNet. They have this really cool Gradio tool. If you guys don't know what Gradio is, it's a framework for quickly building machine learning apps. And it's kind of like Streamlit, but it's simpler and, runs in the browser just like Streamlit. It's pretty cool. And it was I've had a great experience doing these renderings of the sketches because they gave me kind of a visual, even not 3D, but kind of 3D visual of what the workspace would look like according to different settings for my floor plan designs. And I think that was really cool. I would like to do a video on how to use AI, how to use open source AI to do projects like that. I think that's a really cool kind of avenue that we're going with these things. Now in Midjourney, for example, now you can do seating in Midjourney, which is amazing because you can, generate an image of like, let's say, like an office or a couch or whatever. And then you can select a small part within that image of an office or a couch or whatever. And you can ask the model to iterate on variations just for that specific region that you selected. So there are a lot of tools for, architecture and design that I think are interesting. And I would love to see how we can have, free open source, available tools for the public, for you guys to interact with and use it in your own workflows. I mean, that's just my experience, and I thought it was really cool. Like, I like this idea of looking at how people learn and how machines learn and just try to find the intersections where we can build tools that, improve and augment our lives. I know it sounds kind of like cliche and stuff, but this is really the goal of this channel. And I want to keep doing videos where I, maybe in the future, I'll even do podcasts and I'll talk to people, because my goal is to have a place where you can go and it has like the latest tools that you can use to build something that helps you do research, helps you do learning. And that's pretty much it. This pretty much covers what I've been doing lately. I'm working on some proposals for some new live training courses that I want to do in the future. So I'll keep you guys updated on that. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you next time. Cheers.